India is a diverse country having different climatic regions, starting from, say, deserts in the northwestern regions to very high rainfall regions in northeastern regions, like the tundra type of climate in the Himalayan ranges and the arid and semi-arid climate towards the peninsular regions. Same way, like, we are having different climatic regions, and according to different season, we are having, like, different weather events affecting India, right? So this model question is related with the high pressure system which develops in the northwestern parts of the India during the winter season, right? So the question is, what would be the influence on the weather conditions when in the mid-winter a feeble high pressure develops over the northwestern part of India? So before going to the question, right, the statements, let's talk about the high pressure systems. Now there are two pressure systems. We are having low pressure and we are having high pressure. Low pressure means lack of air, right? The air is not available there. So the tendency will be like, the air will be moving towards this low pressure, right? If you are having lack of air in one region, all the air will be trying to move towards this low pressure, right? When the air is moving towards a low pressure, the wind will converge and it will always ascend. It will always go up, right? So when we are having a low pressure system, the winds will be converging, it will be going up, it will be creating more clouds, and thus it results in more precipitation, right? Rainfall. At the same time, if you are having high pressure system, abundant amount of air is there, right? So what happens is that the air will be moving from the high pressure towards all the other regions, right? Plus, if you look at the high pressure regions, the air will be subsiding in the high pressure. Subsiding means it will be moving from the upper troposphere towards the surface. So in a low pressure system, the air will be ascending, we will be having more rainfall, right? In a high pressure system, air will be descending and we will be having precipitation discouraged, right? And in a low pressure system, the air will be moving towards the low pressure, and in a high pressure system, the air will be moving away from the high pressure. So here, the question is the high pressure system developed over the northwestern parts of India during the winter. Okay, so the first statement, high and dry winds would blow outward from this high pressure area. So if you are having high pressure area, it means like the abundant amount of air particles are there, so that the air will be moving outward of these regions, right? So, and these winds, it will be dry winds, for the reason being, like, if you are having high pressure, right, the temperature of the air is less, right? We are having more cold air, right? Even in the question, right, the high pressure is developed during the winter. So that means the land is more cold, the air lying above this cold land is also cold. Okay, now the cold air cannot carry more amount of moisture. For this reason, the cold air, it will be dry, right? So the winds blowing outward of the high pressure regions, it will be cold wind plus it will be dry, right? The first statement is correct, and from the options we can eliminate option C, right? Because C is not having 1 in it. Now the option, the statement 2, right? The northern plain would become cold. Now think about this. In the northwestern region, if you are having high pressure, right? As I told you, the high pressure, the wind will be moving outward from the high pressure regions, right? So from these regions, the winds will be moving towards the plains and all. So what happens is that the plains will be having cold wave conditions. Now during this winter season, right, the cold wave shelters or the night shelters were in news, because during the winter period, India will be having the cold wave conditions. Cold waves means persistently the air temperature is much lower than the usual conditions, right, than the normal condition. So if you are having high pressure systems developed over the India during the winter period, the wind will be blowing away from these high pressure regions, and they will be carrying the cold winds. So this will result in cold waves affecting the plain regions, the northern plain regions. So for this reason, right, the northern plain would become cold. So if you are having high pressure developed over the northwestern regions, the northern plain will become more colder. Okay. The third one, scorching winds, locally called Lu, would blow during the daytime. Okay. So it's called, they are saying like the local wind which is called as Lu will be blowing during the daytime. So here we have to understand what is Lu. Okay. Lu means it's a local wind influencing the Indian regions. Normally the Lu affects during the summer period, right? Especially the pre-monsoon period will be having the effect of Lu. you all must have heard about the heat wave conditions that prevailed during the Indian subcontinent, right? Now, in certain parts of India, we are already facing very high temperature, and that condition we call it as heat waves. Heat waves means if the temperature is much above the normal condition, we call it as heat wave. If the temperature is much lower than the normal condition, we call it as cold wave. So the local wind, which is called as Lu, affects India during the summer period, right? The pre-monsoon period. And this wind, local wind Lu, is a dry and warm wind which is blowing from the Afghanistan-Pakistan region towards the North Indian regions, right? So here in this statement, right, the scorching wind, locally called Lu, would blow during the winter time. Now relating the local wind with the question, right? In the question, it's given like, what would be the influence on the weather conditions when in mid-winter, a feeble high pressure develops over the northwestern region. So the condition in the question given is mid-winter, and the local wind Lu is not influencing India during the mid-winter rather than during the pre-monsoon period. So for that reason, the third statement is wrong. Okay. Now the fourth one, right? So you already got the answer if you know the third one is wrong, because if you understood 1 and 2 is correct, we can eliminate all the options without 1 and 2, we can eliminate A as well as C. So that means like, if the third option is wrong, okay, that we already understood the third option is wrong, then we can eliminate the fourth one and the answer will come out as B, which is 1 and 2 only. Anyway, let's go through the fourth statement. There would be torrential rain brought by thunderstorms. Now for the thunderstorms to take place, right, you have to understand that two necessary conditions are needed for the formation of thunderstorms. The first one, abundant amount of moisture, or you can say warm moisture air should be available for the formation of thunderstorms. Second thing, this warm moisture air has to be brought upward, right? The wind has to go upward. So, or in other words, you can say the thunderstorm will form if you are having vertical movement of air, right? Vertical movement of warm moisture air. Now think about this condition, right? If we are having high pressure, like the air is descending, right? Which is against the formation of thunderstorms. And during the high pressure, the winds will be more drier, right? They won't be having much moisture in it. So the two necessary conditions needed for the winter storms are not there during these high pressure conditions. And for that reason, you can say that the fourth statement is also wrong, and the answer comes out as B, which is 1 and 2 only.